Have you ever been in a conversation knowing exactly what you wanted to say, but you didn't? Maybe your throat tightened, your heart pounded, and you just sat there, nodding along, even though deep inside you wanted to speak? And then later, you replayed the whole moment thinking, why didn't I just say something? If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Many of us have experienced this, whether at work, in relationships, or even in everyday situations. Sometimes it's fear of being wrong. Other times it's social anxiety. And for many, it's because speaking up has felt unsafe in the past. But here's the thing, your voice matters. And today, we're going to talk about why so many people struggle to speak up, what it feels like, and most importantly, how to break free from this cycle. By the end of this video, I want you to feel just a little more confident in using your voice, because trust me, it's worth hearing. Before we talk about solutions, let's get to the root of the issue. Why do so many people struggle with speaking up? Well, the reasons vary, but they often fall into a few key categories. 1. Past trauma. Silence as a survival tactic. Imagine a child growing up in a home where every time they spoke up, they were yelled at, mocked, or ignored. What does that child learn? That staying quiet is safer. And that lesson doesn't just disappear when they grow up. If your brain has been wired to associate speaking with danger, whether from childhood, a toxic workplace, or a controlling relationship, it's no wonder that opening your mouth feels terrifying. Your brain is just trying to protect you. But here's the thing. You're not in that past situation anymore. The world is bigger than the one that taught you to stay silent. 2. Low self-esteem and the fear of being wrong. Have you ever sat in a meeting with an idea in your head, but thought, what if it's stupid? Then 5 minutes later, someone else says exactly what you were thinking, and everyone loves it. Yeah, that feeling is the worst. The fear of sounding foolish keeps so many people from sharing ideas, asking questions, or even expressing simple preferences. But think about this. How often do you judge others for speaking? Not that often, right? So why assume they're judging you? 3. Fear of judgment and the spotlight effect. You know that feeling when you say something slightly awkward and you spend days thinking about it? Like, oh my God, why did I say that? That's called the spotlight effect. The idea that people are paying way more attention to you than they actually are. But here's the truth. Most people are too busy worrying about themselves to dissect everything you say. Think about how much you remember what someone else said in a casual conversation last week. Probably not much, right? So the next time fear creeps in, remind yourself, people aren't watching me as closely as I think. 4. Cultural and social conditioning. In some families, communities, or workplaces, certain people are expected to be quiet. Maybe you were raised to believe that challenging authority is disrespectful, or that it's not your place to voice opinions. But let me ask you this, who benefits from your silence? If speaking up is uncomfortable, ask yourself, is this discomfort because it's wrong, or because I was just never allowed to before? 5. Learned helplessness. What's the point? If you've spoken up before and been ignored, dismissed, or even punished, it's easy to think, why bother? But here's the thing, just because something didn't work in the past doesn't mean it never will. Speaking up is like planting seeds. You don't always see results immediately, but the more you practice, the more things start to change. If you've been through this, you know that not speaking up isn't just about the moment. It lingers. It feels like watching opportunities slip away because you didn't speak up when you had the chance. Letting people cross your boundaries because you don't want to cause trouble. Sitting quietly in a group, even though you want to join the conversation. Feeling regret after a conversation. Thinking, I should have said something. Over time, that silence becomes a habit. And the longer it goes on, the harder it feels to break. But here's the good news. Habits can be changed. 1. Start small and safe. You don't have to start by giving a TED talk or confronting your boss. Start with tiny wins. Speak up in small, everyday moments. Order your coffee confidently. Ask a cashier how their day is. Practice saying no to small things, even if it's just declining an extra errand. Write down your thoughts before saying them. It helps train your brain to process them aloud. Each time you do, you're proving to yourself that it's safe to use your voice. 2. Reframe the fear. Instead of, what if I sound dumb? Think, what if my words help someone? Instead of, what if I mess up? Tell yourself, messing up is human, and humans connect with other humans. 3. Use I statements to make it easier. If you're scared of confrontation, try this. Instead of, you never listen to me, say, I feel unheard when this happens. Instead of, that's wrong, say, I see it differently. It makes expressing yourself way easier and less intimidating. 4. Accept that discomfort is part of growth. The first time a baby bird tries to fly, it wobbles. But if it never tries, it never soars. Speaking up will feel awkward at first. That's not a sign you should stop. It's a sign you're growing. Every major change in history started because someone spoke up. Every great idea, every revolution, every movement happened because someone decided that their voice mattered. And guess what? So does yours. So today, I challenge you. Speak up once when you normally wouldn't. Take one small step to break the silence. And remind yourself your voice deserves to be heard. If this video resonated with you, tell me in the comments. What's one time you wished you had spoken up? Or what's one step you're taking to change that? And if you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Your voice is a gift. The world needs it. And it's time to use it. See you next time.